Market Blaster, where we blow apart the stock market and put it back together so that it makes sense for you. I'm Forbes Markets editor John Dobis. Well, markets are kind of like an REM song from 1986, the Fables of the Reconstruction album, feeling gravity's pull, kind of like a black hole, a vortex, sucking us down because there's no growth in the world. It's just very hard to come by today. Chinese factory orders down for 6 months in a row. You've got services and manufacturing survey out of the Eurozone. That's down to a 5-month low over there. And then you've got over in Holland. Well, let's not go Dutch. It's a beautiful springtime in Holland. Great time to be on the canals in Amsterdam and other places in the town. But the Prime Minister, he's out saying he's quitting. His cabinet is done because they don't want to implement the austerity measures that were called for earlier. And then you've also got in France, election where Nicolas Sarkozy, he lost the first round election against this gentleman right here, kind of a tie into Holland. His name is François Hollande. He's a socialist. Now Sarkozy needs to cater to Jean-Marie Le Pen, a far-right guy, to build a winning team to take the presidency back in France. But nonetheless, trouble all over Europe, and it was dragging on stocks. And of course, you've still got the worries about Greece and other places, Portugal and Spain, where nobody wants to go through government spending cuts and paying higher taxes, of course. Bad day to be a European bank. This is a chart here for Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank was down about 3.8% today. Not looking like a great chart, falling down to the 200-day moving average. Over here in the U.S., banks didn't have it so badly. The XLF was down, but down 0.7%. Not awful considering all the carnage going on in Europe. Another story from south of the border. You remember Wall of Voodoo, perhaps, 1982. Mexican radio eating barbecued iguana. Great lyrics in that song, but Mexico is not a great place for Wal-Mart right now. Wal-Mart accused of making about $24 million worth of bribes over the years to get into new stores in Mexico, open new stores, that is. And this is against the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, something that was signed into law by Jimmy Carter in 1977. Depending on what these bribes are classified as, whether they're just greasers, not the guys and the outsiders, but greasers make you do something that make you do it faster. Hey, sir, here's a bribe. But a bribe, an outright bribe, would be to make you do something you have no intention of doing. So if you add it all up, what's Walmart on the hook for? Oh boy, possibly 1% to 2% of annual sales, with Walmart having about $445 million and billion in sales in the past year. That could add up 1 to 2% of annual sales, $4.5 to $9 billion, although it probably will not change my opinion or any of the people at Walmart's opinion about where to shop for thongs and things like that in the future. Big impact, though, on Walmart stock price, down 4.7% today, just hammered. And we'll see. This FCPA violation stuff could drag on for a few years. And Walmart has plenty of lawyers working for us, so we'll see what this could be a great buy. Kellogg said the rest of the year will not be great for its sales around the world. Stock was down 5%. Hammered. Another look at Walmart there, but here's Kellogg. Kellogg down 6% actually. It accelerated at the close, just slicing through the 50 to 200 and the 10-day moving average. Everyone knows what's coming up. Apple having their earnings out on Tuesday. This right here is an Apple press, and kind of an appropriate little theme because Apple has been pressed down to the 50-day moving average, $572. You'll recall Apple was $644 on April 10th. So earnings are out. It did sell off, as if you read my piece over the weekend. It sold off many times before earnings and it smoked those earnings estimates and gone higher. Facebook, a little chum the water before its IPO, coming in pretty soon, saying it made over $1 billion in revenue in the past quarter. That's $1.058 billion. That's up 45% from the same 3-month period a year ago. Not bad growth. Profits were $205 million. So if you that was down a little bit. So if you give them 250 times 4, that's $1 billion in annual profits. So you're talking about 100 times PE if they get a $100 billion market cap, which is what Facebook is probably going to get when it comes out. And its monthly users, 901 million people. What's that about? 1 in 7 of everybody on Earth? My gosh, how much more can you grow? In any case, oh boy, Zynga. Zynga was in the news. Zynga, of course, makes money with Facebook with their Farmville and Cityville and all the Mafia Wars games. We had an article out on Forbes today from a contributor, Francine McKenna, talking about how Groupon, Facebook, and Zynga all use the same auditor, Ernst & Young. And because when you buy a tractor on Farmville or something like that, the accounting treatment of that revenue is still up for debate. And she's arguing about how Ernst & Young is treating that revenue. Nothing horrible, but the Zynga was down a little bit today. And you can see Zynga's been on quite a sell-off recently, down 2.4%. Some crazy acquisitions, maybe not crazy, but some big acquisitions. Zynga shares down to where they were when they came out just before Christmas last year. So we've got earnings, Fast and Furious, and the big one, of course, that juicy apple.